What's going on, guys? It's Troydan here, and today we've got the smartest plays in baseball history. We got MLB The Show coming soon, so we gotta do this. Go!
Baseball has been around for nearly 200 years, yet somehow MLB players are still finding new ways to bend the rules. Players deceive opponents, deceive umpires, and even deceive themselves in genius ways.
I've seen that one. I've seen a lot of these, actually.
Play in baseball history. This guy's trick was so smart, MLB had to ban it.
Whoa.
A lot of plays that look extremely dumb are actually genius, and this play was so smart it inspired a running trick that is currently taking over MLB, but none of these are the smartest play of all time. This is. But before we get to that, let's look at some plays that weren't as smart.
Okay.
Believe it or not, this is
Whoa!
legal in
What the
baseball.
hell?
But is it smart? Kind of. The
What's
suicide
happening?
squeeze is probably the most dangerous play in the sport. That's when a runner on third steals home while the batter simultaneously bunts. If the batter successfully bunts the ball fair, the runner is safe every single time. However, if the batter fails to bunt the ball fair, the runner is out every single time. If the batter forgets the play is happening and swings, the runner stealing home will be a few feet away from him and can get nailed by a ball, or worse yet, get hit with the swing itself. When a runner is stealing home, a pitcher has two options.
I've never seen
They can either
this.
step off the mound and throw home, or just pitch the ball normally. If he does pitch the ball normally, it is a pitch and the batter can swing. If he doesn't swing, the runner is usually screwed. So if the catcher steps in front of home, it's legal for the batter to swing and nail the catcher in the back. Just like this kid does, throwing off the catcher and allowing the run to score. But even though this is legal,
but it's legal because he's allowed.
Pointless and dumb, because according to the rules,
hit him in the
as soon as this catcher steps in front of the batter during a pitch, it is a balk, and the runner stealing home automatically scores anyway. The smarter play in the situation is actually just as dangerous and will probably start a fight, but that didn't stop Chase Anderson from pulling it off in 2016. He was facing the Reds when the runner on third decided he was going to steal home.
Look at the run he got.
Saw Holt running out of the corner of his eye and was worried he was going to be safe. So intentionally, at the last second, threw the ball directly at the batter. Since the batter was hit with the ball was dead. Holt didn't get the score and was sent back to third base.
Really?
This was an extremely heads-up play, but it pissed off the Reds. Anderson had hit 3 batters this game, and the next time he came to the plate, he was also nailed by a pitch. A lot of times, a suicide squeeze ends with somebody getting hurt. It's a lot safer to try to hit and run, and nobody has pulled off a more genius hit and run than Pablo Sandoval when he did this.
I get one pause, and I'm going to use it now. There's some serious hit and runs in LA. I've seen so many car chases in LA. There's been some serious ones. Point that out.
Pitches inside. I don't know what Pablo was doing swinging at that when the ball was already by. That was bizarre. Weird.
A hit and run usually happens when a runner steals second while the batter simultaneously tries to hit a ball, usually on the ground. Since the runner is stealing, worst case scenario, this batter gets out at first, but the runner still gets to advance to second. However, the batter has to swing and try to make contact no matter how bad the pitch is, or the runner stealing will most likely get thrown out. Pablo Sandoval was tasked at doing this. However, the ball came directly at him. He tried to avoid getting hit and forgot to swing.
Damn, the GX. Look at that. Give that big boy a slap.
Brandon Belt is a very slow runner, and this catcher is about to nail him at second base for an out. So Sandoval decides to swing at a pitch already in the catcher's glove. This looked very dumb, but it throws off the catcher so bad, forces a terrible throw. Now Brandon Belt, who would have been out at second, gets to go to third. 2 batters later, he scores, all because Sandoval did this. As you can see, sometimes the dumbest looking plays are actually the smartest plays. Like this guy who tricked everybody by falling on his face on purpose. The University of Kentucky is known for aggressive base running and trickery. They came up with this trick when there's runners on the corner. If the pitcher is a lefty, his back is turned to the runner on third, meaning if he steals home, the pitcher can't see him. Traditionally, if a runner steals home on a pitcher with his back turned, the entire team screams to alert the pitcher. The pitcher steps off, throws home, and gets him out by a mile. But Kentucky hacked the system. They had a guy on third.
That is hilarious. That is the best play I've ever seen.
Simultaneously steal second. So
He's
when
the smartest humans in the world.
screamed to alert the pitcher, he just assumed they were talking about the runner on first, who he was staring at. The runner purposely fell on his face, and by the time
Get that guy a Nobel Peace Prize or something, man. That's intelligence.
He had already scored. He was so
Did he steal second?
By the time he realized what was happening, the runner who fell on his face on purpose had time to get up and steal second anyway. Kentucky had a ton of options here because with runners on first and third, there are a ton of potential trick plays. You can double steal, wait for the throw to go to second, then go home.
Yeah, I've had some of these happen in the game. That's for sure. Usually they're not intentional.
Safety squeeze, or you can even pretend to be a skunk in the outfield and literally take a 50-foot lead into right field. Yes, this genius high school baseball team found out that this was legal in baseball and absolutely this team by doing it. According to the rules, a runner has to stay within 3 feet of the base path. However, a base path is only established once a tag is attempted. Since nobody has attempted to tag this runner yet, he doesn't have a base path yet. He can stand as far out into the outfield as he wants. So this team told this runner to go out as far as possible into the outfield. There was a runner on third and first, so they knew if the pitcher tried to pick this runner off in right field, the runner on third would score easily.
What is this league? Is this the minors?
Doesn't know what to do. He just walks towards the runner, but doesn't throw it because he knows the runner on third would score. He throws the ball to second, but the runner just runs back into the outfield. He doesn't want to chase him into the outfield because he knows the runner on third will score. They're gonna put this in the new game. But eventually, he throws it to a fielder close to the runner. The runner on third goes home. He is safe. The runner in the outfield then goes to second, and he is safe too. And since these tag attempts happen while the runner is already in the outfield, he is never technically out of the base path, which is a straight line from where the runner is standing and the base they are attempting to go to. Therefore, everyone is safe, the run scores, and everybody is
I'm gonna get 2 pawns on this one. If a team did this to me, I would hit the next guy with the ball. There's no way. The pitcher's got to take the next guy out. Headshot, Leon Edwards.
Nobody knew you could do this. Just like for over 100 years, when there was a forced play at second, players would always do this. But now the entire league is using this new base running hack, and it all started with this one genius play. Plays at second base typically look like this. If a run scores on a play like this, it doesn't count because this is a forced play for 3 outs. Nolan Gorman thought this was dumb. With the bases loaded and 2 outs, Paul Goldschmidt hit a routine grounder. Thinking it was a routine play, the shortstop flips it to second. To his surprise, Nolan Gorman didn't slide. He just sprinted right past the base. He quickly got tagged out, but it didn't matter because the run already scored. Since it wasn't a force, the run counts. Now everyone in the league is doing it. The Yankees did it with the bases loaded. It forced an error. Everyone was safe and allowed Aaron Judge to hit a grand slam. They did it again the next day. The runner not sliding threw off the fielder.
I thought I understood this one, but I think I'm not understanding it.
Not sliding increases the chances the runner is going to be safe because it's faster. It also guarantees he's going to be out because he runs past the bag. But if there's a runner on third, it's worth it because it means they're gonna score. Fielders are also not used to runners not sliding, so it often causes them to mess up. But some believe this is dangerous for fielders and that MLB should outlaw it. And MLB has done this in the past. This guy outsmarted everybody, saved his career by this trick, only to have his career derailed when MLB banned it a few years later. But before we get to that, a quick word from today's sponsor. This video is brought to you by Factor. If you were in the Major League... This is Carter Capps, who thought to himself one day, if I could just stand closer to the batter, it would be harder for them to hit me. Pitchers have been doing that for years. Nolan Ryan claims that he would pitch 6 inches in front of the rubber when he needed a big strikeout. Whitey Ford admitted to doing the same thing. This is blatantly illegal, but pitchers do it more than you think. The Dodgers complained that Ted Lilly was doing it in 2010, and he was inching up multiple inches in front of the rubber to get an advantage on hitters. The Dodgers noticed and even told the umpire, who watched him do it, but didn't call him for it, because from the umpire's angle, it's pretty much impossible to confirm if a pitcher is actually a few feet of the rubber or not. Carter Capps took this trick to another level. He debuted with a normal delivery, had an ERA over 5, got traded, and ended up in the minors. He was terrible. That's when he decided
until he started to do the truffle shuffle.
Was already 6'5" with an average fastball of 98 miles per hour. By leaping towards the batter, he added over 8 feet of extension, meaning instead of throwing from 62 feet like everybody else, he was actually throwing from 54 feet. His 98 mile per hour fastball got to the plate as fast as a 101 mile per hour fastball.
He put 3 miles per hour in a little hop.
Delivery instantly added 3 miles per hour to his fastball. When he debuted in the minors, the umpires called it illegal, forcing him to leave the game.
That's
but what
crazy.
makes this trick so genius is that even though it is illegal, every single pitcher does it. According to the rules, a pitcher's back foot must be in contact with the rubber when they pitch. However, that's not really possible. If you watch a pitcher in slow motion, nobody has their back foot in contact with the rubber when they release the ball. So yes, Capps was cheating, but every other pitcher in baseball was also
I never noticed that.
He was just doing it a little more. So MLB came out clarifying that Capps' delivery was actually legal. He got to the majors that year and dominated, was 3rd in ERA amongst relievers, 4th in FIP, 1st in WHIP, and had the highest strikeout percentage in baseball, striking out 50% of the batters he faced. However, Capps eventually got hurt and tried to come back with a new motion when MLB said that this was illegal, effectively banning his delivery. It basically
he can't do it
ended his
twice.
career. But not before
Once is
Capps
enough.
went from not being in the league to
Dude's
the
gonna be
best in the league,
the bat Bob's doing that
$3
soon.
million
Halfway down
in salary he never would have earned. Carter Capps' jump was so genius, it made him millions of dollars. Yet he still cannot claim to have the smartest play in baseball. Not even this guy can claim that.
Who got it?
He somehow figured out a way to get 4 outs in 1 inning. Yes, Freddie Freeman might be the first person ever to record a 4th out, but why would anyone want to do that Everyone knows when you get 3 outs in baseball, the inning is over. This close play
not if you're drinking.
was the 3rd out on the Mets, so the inning is over. But instead, Freddie Freeman acts like there's only 2 outs and throws the ball to 3rd. They tag this guy, who thought the inning was over, for the 4th out. The runner looked confused and probably thought Freeman just got mixed up, forgot how many outs there were, and threw the ball to 3rd for no reason. Nope, this actually might have saved the Braves multiple runs. Even though this runner was called out, Freddie knew it was close. He knew the Mets might challenge and decided to throw it to 3rd to get a 4th out. The Mets wanted to challenge. If they did challenge, they would have been right. The player was safe, meaning the 3rd out is no longer an out. But since Freddie threw it to 3rd and got a 4th out, that 4th out becomes the 3rd out and the inning is over regardless of the challenge. So instead of having runners on the corner with an opportunity to score, the inning was over, making this runner look very dumb. Just as dumb as Kyle Tucker looked when he randomly stole home, got caught, and ended the inning. Except this time, it was actually genius, because the play before, Carlos Correa hit this fly ball. Yuli Gurriel tagged up and scored. However, the Diamondbacks believed Yuli left the bag early. The Astros also knew that he had left the bag early and knew if the Diamondbacks appealed, Yuli would be out. To appeal this, the defense has to step off the mound before the next play occurs, throw it to the base the runner left early on, and see if the umpire reverses the call. But while the Diamondbacks were trying to do this, Kyle Tucker just randomly started running home. The Diamondbacks had no choice but to tag him out. They did it, but by doing this, This becomes a new play, making the last play unappealable. Now, they can't appeal that Yuli Gurriel left early, and this run now counts, all because the base runner used his head, which is sometimes the best option. Just ask Cole Calhoun,
I'm not going to pretend to understand that one.
To get out of a pickle,
Oh, they
knowing
smoked
he
him
was
in the
going to
head,
be out.
dude. He's
He
sleeping with a player's
headbutted a
wife.
ball, hoping the ump wouldn't notice. They did. Calhoun was out because, according to the rules, a runner cannot intentionally interfere with a thrown ball. But Charlie Blackmon found a way around this. He was in a pickle. Knew the only way he would be safe was if
Dude,
he
I
got
had a
hit
pickle.
with
I was
a
in a
throw.
pickle for like 10
Purposely
minutes.
Made a huge throwing lane for the fielder, then quickly closed the gap and got hit in the back on purpose. But since he never sees the ball and never goes out of the base path, the umps couldn't determine he did it on purpose, so he was safe.
Did he do it on
it's
purpose?
It's called a pickle for a reason. There's no good way to get out of it. Sometimes the smartest thing to do is just destroy the closest fielder you see. That's what Jason Varitek did, and it ended up saving the Red Sox their season. They were facing elimination in the ALDS. In a tie game, Varitek got into a pickle. The A's did not execute it well. At this point, he could have just gone back to third and be safe. Instead, he does something 100 times smarter and runs directly into the fielder's chest. According to the rules, if a fielder doesn't have a ball and isn't in the act of fielding, they can't get in the way of a runner trying to get to a base. So purposely making contact initiated an obstruction call, and instead of being safe at third, Varitek got to go home and score. This run ended up forcing extra innings. The Red Sox ended up winning the game. They then ended up winning the next 2 games and won the series, meaning if he didn't make this one split-second decision, the Red Sox would have been eliminated.
That's nuts.
Making a smart play is one thing. Making a smart play that actually saves your season is even better. And that's why this is the smartest play of all time. The intentional walk is a play with disaster waiting to happen. If you want to walk a player on purpose, MLB used to make you throw 4 straight balls.
Yeah, that's how I remember.
Sometimes pitchers messed this up, made terrible throws, and allowed runs to score.
Oh, come on, what a boner.
The Orioles wanted to avoid pitching to the Marlins' best hitter. They intentionally walked Miguel Cabrera. He had the genius idea
He's so
to
young.
swing anyway,
hit it!
everyone, and hit this 50-mile-per-hour pitch for the game-tying RBI. Usually, when there is an intentional walk, hitters just stand there because they know they're getting walked. You gotta be able to do that in MLB The Show. Even be ready for a strike because they're all gonna be unhittable pitches. The Athletics knew this in the 1972 World Series. They were facing Johnny Bench, one of the best hitters in baseball. Catcher signaled like they were gonna walk him on purpose, but at the last second, he jumped back into his stance. Raleigh Fingers threw a strike, surprised the Reds, surprised the stadium, surprised Johnny Bench, and struck him out to end the inning.
Wow.
A play so genius, it will go down as the smartest play of all time.
I think it was smart. That play was smart at the end, but I think there was the other ones were a little bit smarter, I think, to be honest. A little bit smarter. But smartest plays in baseball history. We got MLB The Show 25. Jeez, it's dropping in like a month and a week. We got the new MLB season starting. It's baseball time, boys. It's time to cork our bat and take some steroids like real men. Guys, if you got a video like for me to watch or react to, you can tweet me at Troydan under the hashtag TroydanReacts. Thank you for watching, and kids, cork your bat, but tell no one.